Senator Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to congratulate the Minister for being appointed the CS. Many people in Kenya have confidence that you're going to succeed because of your history. Mr. Speaker, when Dulo announced that they had struck oil in Turkana, the news was received by the country with hope, excitement, and expectation that Kenya was now going to become one of the world oil producing countries. Minister, can you just clear the air in very few words? With a paltry production that you have announced in the last 4 years, is it all lost, or Kenya still has a chance of being an oil producer?
CS, answer those two questions.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable members, the question from Kisang on whether we need to do a refinery or whether, what is the way forward? These are the details that I did allude to in my earlier statement, where the economics of oil production in the report Field Development Plan, a very comprehensive report, I've got about a 400-page document in my office, are currently being looked at by the technical team to confirm the best option going forward. Let me just give, by way of example, like if we were to produce at a certain rate and reach a plateau in 2-3 years, and you have built a pipeline that can take so much product to the market, and yet the production has gone down. It is a phenomenon which the companies prospecting would like to use to earn their profit, take their profit, what do you call it, their cost, recover their cost oil quickly, and leave us almost sharing very little on profit oil. So we are looking at the economics of a pipeline, economics of a refinery in Turkana, in Isiolo, in Mombasa, economics of trucking, which doesn't look viable. And that report, a very comprehensive technical report, translated to a commercial piece of business document, will be brought to this House and will possibly retreat to interrogate that report, because the early investment to get the product to market, from drilling commercial wells, building the tankage in Turkana, building the pipeline or a refinery, are in the cost of $3.5 billion, and that will be taken to cost oil. So it will be recovered from our oil to cost. It will go to cost. Can you now see a situation where, after recovering, we export the product for 3 years, and maybe the product diminishes on what I call reaching the tippers and starts coming down? And what do we do with a big investment of $3-4 billion if the product... So we'll be bringing that comprehensive report to confirm the viability of every investment option, including refineries, including pipelines, and all the details that go to taking the product to market. Like I said, oil product is controlled by OPEC. It's got a Platts international pricing. Even what we sold on the early oil project scheme was a Platts pricing. The only thing that was competed for was freight and premium. So, honorable members, will bring that report in due course. It has got a timeline under the production sharing contract, which says the report goes to EPRA, our regulator, for 3 months. They submit to my office. It shouldn't take more than 1 month in my office. And when it comes to Parliament, it shouldn't take more than 1 month for us to confirm whether it's economically viable to get the product to market, and therefore go into final investment decision within a year and build the infrastructure within 3 years to take the product to market. By way of answering Honorable Kisang's question, I've touched on Honorable Halwale's question, and thank you for challenging me to succeed, and I'll work very hard to succeed. But to the question of, yes, there was excitement, there was hope, there's still hope. You look at our neighbor who made discoveries 4 years earlier, 3 years earlier than Kenya, and they have not gotten to market today. They have just done the final investment decision so that they can look for resources to build the pipeline, which is going the back route to Dar es Salaam, about 1,800 kilometers, and those are huge investments. So the fact that we made this discovery much later and we are where we are, I'll be urging this House and the Kenyans at large to quickly go out of our way to support this project development and be conscious of the climate change issue. Because when I came into this House this morning, I looked at and did some extensive reading on environmental, social, and governance challenges that are facing the world today due to climate change. And investors on even funding or financial FIDs are not putting their money where their policies on climate don't agree with the developers of some of these environmentally challenged projects like coal development, fossil fuel development. So we need to bring this to closure, because you are also aware that Kenya has signed to be 100% green, particularly on power generation by 2030. So unless we embrace this project and support it and run with it to reach to final investment decision and fast oil within the next 3 years, more and more of the West, the European area, rather a part of the world, may not be putting their money into this investment because of their policies on responsibilities on the climate change. And therefore, I want to confirm that we have a timeline. We will work together to ensure that we quickly maintain the excitement and the hope of using this natural resource to develop our country like the West has done for the last several years. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Senators, there is a lot of interest on this matter, and I will now give guidance that every senator can take at least 1.5 minutes to ask a question, direct question, or 2 minutes maximum, so that we can make progress. Senator Fatuma Nduru.
Thank you, Chairman. Speaker, thank you, CS, for appearing before the House. I must say this is a very good avenue for us to interact with relevant ministries. Though some of the members have refused or rather didn't embrace the process. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to ask something on electricity, if you can allow me, for my county, because I've tried to trace CS severally but unable to get him. It's just 1 minute, if you may allow.
Tanduru, I give some good guidance that we need to have some conversation so that we can get questions related to the initial question. But the CS has already got your message.
So
just
I'll look for him.
1 minute, kindly. You know, I don't want us to...
No, it's okay. It's okay. He's a friend also. I'll look for him. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And you know, the CS is a very available person. Next is Senator Mbugua. Senator Mbugua Mungai.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Waziri, for coming. Mine is a very short one. During our recent visit to Juba, we visited a mini refinery, which is being put up there, and the whole thing is being managed by Kenyans. And we were made to understand it has a capacity of doing 10,000 barrels a day. So my question, Waziri, is, can we consider, instead of all that distance we take our well, is it possible either to liaise with our neighbors, because the distance from Juba to Turkana is very short, and maybe we can save on those costs. And if Waziri, Sudan is able to do this mini refinery, why is it so difficult for Kenya to do the same so that maybe we can benefit like them? Thank you.
I think many members have the same question, so let the CS answer that one. Maybe you might sort my problem of time by answering the issue on refinery.
Thank you, Speaker, again. Thank you, Senator Dulo, for I certainly will make time to see the Senator to address the issues of Isiolo and the issues of Kenya at large regarding this pet electricity where there is so much interest. Senator Mungai, the Juba small refinery, we are looking at all the economics, and I think when we bring the field development plan for our Turkana basin, oil basin, we will show the economics of the small refinery, the economics of the big refinery, the economics of the pipeline in relation to the total reservoir of oil already discovered in Kenya. And to an extent that, like I said, oil are priced. If it makes economic sense and the Platts pricing of oil in terms of cost for locally refining with that kind of refinery, we should be able to recommend that to this House. So the economics of all that will be in the field development report. But more importantly, when South Sudan refines its product through this small oil refinery, and if it is enough for our region, and it is cheaper, because the Platts pricing of oil, nobody discounts oil. Why would you discount your product if the world price is given? If then the freight and premium to bring the product from Juba to Kenya would be cheaper. And one aspect in the petroleum space in Kenya today is that petroleum product is traded by oil marketing companies. It is off government balance sheet. We don't trade with government money on petroleum products. The OMCs bring the product even under the G2G into Kenya, and they compete on freight and premium. So if the freight from Juba, South Sudan, and the premium being charged by an oil marketing company who wins the tender will be the most competitive, then we will bring products from Juba, maybe from Uganda, if they succeed to build the oil refinery. So the point is really, yes, they will have a competitive advantage because of distance, but don't forget that transport by sea is so cheap. So when the oil marketing companies go out to bid, there'll be some oil marketing companies who will be considering the product out of Uganda, out of South Sudan, and out of the Saudi Arabia, using the transport by water. And whoever gets the best premium and freight will pick that product, and will be able to use that to run the economy in a competitive way, because we need cost down to be able to support our economy. Thank you.
Senator Mandago Jackson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable CS, for energy for availing yourself to this session. Honorable Speaker, I have two questions, the CS, if you may allow. I'm looking at the volumes that were extracted on 26 August of 240,000